Alright, hello, welcome back to the VOD Analysis series. Today we will be analyzing Khan on Irelia against an Aatrox on top lane. And we will try to answer some central questions in order to maybe even improve your play or just look what the pros are doing that makes them play so well. Before going into the content though, please, if you liked the video, like, subscribe, maybe even recommend it. And there is my Twitter link in the description and stuff like that. And if you want to, you can support me. It will really mean the world to me, so I can get my brand out to the world. Alright. So the central questions we will answer today is: how do I play Irelia in the top lane? On an advanced level, so Diamond Plus, pretty much. How do I play Irelia versus Aatrox on this advanced level? And how does Khan specifically manage to wave to actually beat this opponent and basically outplay him? Yeah, okay. So you see, this video is only 11 minutes. It will be an F15. So this gives us the opportunity to see what Khan has done to make this game this unplayable for the enemy team. And while it's not only him, it's a huge part him winning the top lane hard. Okay. So here's the rune page, which is fairly standard. Notice that he took Biscuit Delivery and Time for Tonic. This allows you to start with Corrupting Pot, and actually go for some really aggressive early trades, because you can just heal up all the damage you got with the potions. And we will see him do that in a second. Okay. While we have some downtime, if you guys have a champion or a player you want me to review, just say so, and I will be trying to get myself a good VOD. And if you want to look at the video for yourself, the link to the VOD will be in the description as always. Okay, so we already saw some pretty good stuff. Irelia is one of those champions that has a huge power level 1 with her passive and her Q, which both allows her to get close and get some attack speed steroid from her passive. Which really makes her hurt in those level 1, level 2 traits. Okay, so how does Khan manage to abuse this? We will look again how he manages to wave. Okay, so he basically Aatrox puts out his Q, meaning that he will have no tools to work with. And see how he actually autoed this ranged minion twice. And this is extremely intelligent. This allows him now to get this last hit with the Q on the melee minion, last hit the other melee minion, and then basically go for the ranged minion and use it as a bridge to actually get on Aatrox. And I will just play out how he does this. Okay, you see. And now he uses his level 1, as I said, with Time Bomb Tonic, of course, popping this Corrupting Potion, so he doesn't lose any damage points. And forces a pretty good trade on level 1. So from now on, Aatrox really has to respect Khan on Irelia. Because, yeah, basically if he takes another one of those trades, he will be dove on the third wave. Yeah, and this is basically also what Khan tries to do. You see that right now he's building a slow push. You can see this because there are more minions on his side than on Aatrox's side. And with this minion wave, if he doesn't hard push it, it will not go in the tower by itself. He actually pushes a little bit too hard, which might have something to do with his level 1. So he doesn't actually get the wave here in front of Aatrox's tower, which would have been a lot more beneficial to him. Because now he has to step under the tower to actually last hit. And that makes last hitting extremely dangerous with Irelia, because you don't really have any good tools to last hit on range. Notice that he also uses his Q to dodge the sweet spots of the Aatrox. And if he does get hit, he uses W to reduce the damage. Okay, you see he has 5 stacks again, which is the point where Irelia is strongest. He takes a short trade and goes back. He always trades in front of the enemy minion wave, so he can just use the enemy minions to jump out to avoid taking too much unnecessary damage. Okay, yeah, this is a really janky spot he was in here. We will just rewind that a bit. This is like him mismanaging the wave just a slight bit, and this really makes the game a lot harder. So what basically he has to get those minions in order to crash the wave into the tower. Otherwise, it will be a slow push for Aatrox, and he will be able to use this slow push to actually be able to trade. So what he does is basically he just goes for a short trade and gets the minions. Now this thing crashes, and it might look like really risky. But if you are confident in your mechanics that you can pull this off, and then it would actually be the better call here, because now the minion wave is actually neutral, and he can basically start a slow push again, and from there on trade with the Aatrox. He takes it back and he TPs. The Aatrox does the same. And this here now is a really good representation of how you want to trade in the matchup. You see that he uses Q on all those minions, so he stacks up his passive. He hits the ranged minion once, uses it as a bridge again to get onto the Aatrox, and just punches him sometimes with the passive, and that basically outtrades Aatrox and most other top lane champions. This also really results in a split push again, and as I already hinted, what he wants to do is he wants to create the slow push, make it as big as possible, and then he wants to actually dive the Aatrox under the tower. Okay, as you may have noticed, by the way, good usage of W to reduce the turret damage. But as you may have noticed, he tries to go for it by using his E. However, the E missed, so he has to actually go back and he can't take the play. So what I want you to do is to pause the video now, and if he actually hit that E, why would it have been beneficial to him to actually go for the dive, even if he dies? Okay, so it would have been good for Khan, even if he dies, because the Aatrox of course gains 300 kill gold, kill XP, and Khan gains the same. However, the Aatrox also loses the entire minion wave. With him having no TP, he will probably lose like really the entire wave. And Khan managed to pick up all these minions. So this is a really good strategy, which seems really aggressive and reckless for people of maybe lower MMR. However, if you get a stacked wave and actually manage to pull off a dive with you guys both dying, then most of the time it will actually be beneficial if you don't have shutdown gold. If you have shutdown gold, then the story is a bit different. Okay. So, if you guys watched my Camille video, you might have noticed, I think I actually talked about that you want to hard push the wave, the stacked wave, and if you can't dive, then you want to back. However, Khan decides not to go back here actually, and decides to stick around instead. And this is a play he can make in this case because now the slow push that he crashed will turn into a slow push for Aatrox, and this means that the minion wave will slowly push into him. So what happens now if the Aatrox cannot contest it? The Irelia will just freeze it under or in front of the tower, and the Aatrox will basically have no choice other than call the jungler to break the freeze to actually get anything out of the minion wave without dying. Because in this case, the Irelia is the stronger 1v1 champion. The Irelia has more HP actually, and she will likely hit level 6 first because she managed to pick up some kill XP, some CS XP that the Aatrox didn't manage. Again, he uses his Q to dodge the W. And this is like the main point why the matchup is so terrible for Aatrox. If the Irelia actually uses her W, the Q and the W well, you can reduce so much damage, or even rather dodge so much damage that the Aatrox never has kill pressure on you. Okay, you might have noticed the Graves actually went and came to gank, and this is a pretty good. This is a pretty good representation that even in high elo, this is Korean Master, obviously early season. The junglers will still have little knowledge about wave management. So as I said, it would have been way more beneficial for him to just not come and make the Irelia get the slow push into her, and then use the slow push to actually kill the Aatrox. But like this, now basically Irelia had to set up the Graves, and this means she had to push so you can actually sneak into those bushes. However, that was warded, and yeah, they basically get nothing. It is not something that loses your lane here, but definitely some missed opportunity. Okay, so here is again a really interesting state. The Lilia actually uses the blast cone with the Graves being here, which is pretty troll, but hey. Okay, so obviously the Irelia is closer to her than the Aatrox right now, so she actually gets the first move. But now you guys can pause the video again and think about what should Aatrox do in this situation. Okay, let's watch first what Aatrox actually does. You can see on his minimap that he went to help. The Lilia dies for free, which was inevitable. And the Aatrox basically also has to flash, and eventually I think he even dies. Yeah, eventually he dies to the Zoe. So if anybody of you answered, okay, I want to go help, that is definitely the wrong choice. Let's rewind. And notice the wave state, that the Irelia actually left. You can see, this is a slow push into Aatrox. And what have we learned for slow pushes? If you can't contest it, or if you're not willing to contest it, or if you are away, then you can use the slow push to freeze the minion wave. So what Aatrox could have done is he could have moved up here, out of range of the tower, pulled the minion wave, and then basically frozen the wave. And that would have at least gained him something, because maybe the Irelia loses a little bit of minion XP or minion gold, or even the Graves has to come break the freeze, because the Irelia actually used her flash and her ultimate on the Lilia catch, and with those few minions, Aatrox probably would have hit level 6, which should have allowed him to actually hold the freeze in this case. So just some food for thought, that even if you guys might be high elo, might be worth to refresh on your wave management and always think about what you want to do, what you need to do, because having those helping complexes, as we see with the Aatrox here, that you probably have from solo queue because people flame you if you don't help. But a lot of the time, it actually is the wrong call to make. Okay. Actually really cool from the video creators to speed up with the video, so I don't have to do it myself. Here you can, like a little thing with Irelia, if somebody is in the bush, here you can actually see the feedback if you hit somebody. Here, you see this little flash? That means you hit somebody. However, of course, it's probably a Yone, so there's basically no way of Khan catching him. So he doesn't commit and actually gets to the wave. So you let's notice again that basically Khan does the same thing all over again that he did basically the entire game. He creates a slow push. And he looks again to actually get the jump on Aatrox. However, the Aatrox actually respects it this time. Okay, a big wave again. And this time he uses the wave because he cannot. So, like, this is 101 wave management again. When you crash this wave, because this wave is going to crash no matter what, which means it will die at the tower. You basically have a few choices. Like before, the Khan actually went for some trades, or even a attempted dive. But right now, Aatrox is full life, he is full life, so he decides not to actually risk it, which of course would have been suicide, and actually gets the ward. Also something to notice, you guys might have heard the term strong side, weak side sometimes, especially when you are when you watch LCS broadcasts or something like that. Basically, to break it down, strong side is the side where the jungler is on. So in this case, you can see Graves is at bot lane, attempting to make a play there. And weak side is the side where either you don't know where you don't know if the jungler is there. So Lilia might be top side. You guys cannot know, or Khan cannot know right now. Or it's the side that just straight up loses in a 1v1. So, and what has this play to do with strong side, weak side? He does not attempt the dive because the jungler might be there and he's playing weak side right now, so it would be a waste and again suicide to actually try to go for this play. However, sometimes you you don't have to respect weak side every game if you are really ahead and play, especially like champion like Irelia with a lot of outplay potential. There are some situations where you actually want to force dives in order to get a 1v2. like good champions that you can do this with are like also Darius, Alawi, those champions that actually want to get ganked, because that makes them stronger even. So now he knows the Irelia is not topside because she just died to the Zoe. And again, he takes this trade. He does not extend the trade, which is the right call here, because the Aatrox still has ultimate and he will just heal up the damage. Instead, he just takes those minions, creates a slow push again, and now that he took this trade, he both weakened the Aatrox health bar by a significant amount, and he does not have ultimate, so there's absolutely no way that this Aatrox can actually contest. So, if you're Aatrox, you basically have two choices. You either you call for your jungler to try and help yourself out of this really, really shitty situation, or you just get back and you lose 3 tower plates or even more and the entire minion wave. So we will see what Aatrox does, because yeah, if he doesn't totally want to concede everything, he will have to call the jungler, which he does. Jungler is here, and now we will see why I would advise you guys to put in the time and the tears and sweat pretty much to actually learn Irelia. Irelia is not an easy champion by any means, but she can do a lot of stuff if you are confident in her and you know your limits. Let's see. Okay, this might be a little bit too weird. Okay. Let's go again. So he steps back, dodges the second Q, dodges the W with the Q, Qs Aatrox again to not get hit by his third Q, and then he even gets the second kill on the Lilia. Okay. And one thing that I want you to notice is, if he did not stack this wave here, he wouldn't have gotten this kill on Lilia. The Lilia only died because the minions were attacking her the entire time, and this is the like 50-100 damage that was the death of Lilia. So it might like not seem significant that he actually had this wave, but it allowed him to get 2 kills here. And not only 1, because if you only got 1, it would have not been all that terrible for the blue team, because then probably Lilia will just soak up this wave, the next wave, and Aatrox will still be fucked, but not the Lilia at least. Okay, we can go to normal speed again. And recognizing when you can actually go for these plays, and when you can outplay the enemy, because this is what Irelia is. It's an outplay champion. That is what differentiates a good Irelia player from a great Irelia player. And what people see, or what I see a lot in lower elo, is that Irelia players will just assume automatically that they can outplay every situation, go for this extremely aggressive stuff, which they actually don't have the skill or the knowledge to back up, and then they will just die. But Khan obviously is a more experienced or better Irelia player, and he actually weighs his options. Again, you guys can see he has a slow push, crashes into the tower. The Aatrox is full life, he is full life, so he does not decide to go for trade here. Okay, and any good player knows, when you get ahead in your lane, you need to snowball. Ideally, you want to snowball it on the entire map. And in this case, Khan decides to TP on bot lane, However, he could also like push the wave and roam mid lane if that would have been the best option. But in this case, the bot lane TP was like the only player available. So he TPs bot lane, and something to notice is because he had this push, he is actually the first guy to make this play. And Aatrox cannot immediately respond because he had to clear like 1 or 2 minions off the wave. Obviously, sometimes the players will recognize, or the enemy top laners will recognize, okay, I cannot actually go for these minions and just answer UTP. But I mean, that's that, and that does not mean that you do not want to go for those plays. But what he does is he basically waited here for the blue team to commit onto his onto his bot lane, and now he basically just does cleanup duty. It is always also something to note that he just finished Blade of the Ruined King, and this is like one of those extremely impressive spikes for Irelia. Okay, you guys see the Aatrox has just joined. The Vayne actually did a little misstep and got stunned by the Bard with the Nami. And they actually get a return kill. So it's not perfect, but hey, Khan at least gets ahead again. He gets 3 kills here. And he does give up a kill. However, because he went for this play, here you can see, because he went for this play and Aatrox had to answer with his TP, the entire top side is now basically no man's land. And what better champion to play no man's land than Graves? He just summons the Rift Herald and he takes this entire tower just for free. So why do I like this play so much? Is because Irelia or Khan did not only manage to get himself ahead or the bot side ahead, he actually managed to get the top side ahead with Graves here as well. So he managed to get everybody but the Zoe. He managed to get ahead with this with the single play. And of course, this is also really, really well fought by Graves. A lot of you guys junglers in gold or anything like that probably won't go for this, but if they do, it's even better. And if he didn't, it would still have been a good play gold wise. Okay, so at this point, basically the game is pretty much over. 12 minutes, and they are 6k gold ahead. Every single lane is ahead, even the Vayne lane, which basically should never happen. And yeah, basically game is done, and it will be an FF15. As you can see here they just FF. Okay, so let's do a little recap. What you guys should know by now, what you guys should have taken from this video, and I will try to get... Okay, now we just need a little bit better of a quality. Okay, what you guys should have taken from this video. When playing Irelia, ideally you want to stack the wave and look for short trades with this stacked wave. But you always want to have to give yourself a way out if something goes bad or if you need to dodge a skill shot. So you want to trade behind the opponent's wave, so you can use the opponent's wave to actually jump out. Then, after with those trades that you're looking for, you ideally want to have a health advantage on your opponent, and you want to have him so low that you can attempt the dive with the stacked wave when it goes into the tower. And if a lot of Irelia players do it on level 2 or 3, if you actually manage to kill the opponent and die yourself, it is still worth, because the opponent loses a lot more minions than you did, because he lost none. But just notice, if you have a shutdown, that play will probably not be worth. Okay, then don't use Irelia Q for no reason or just to do more damage. use it to dodge crucial skill shots, or close the gap if the opponent is maybe a little faster than you, or he has himself a gap closer. Because if you just want more damage, you can also just auto attack with 5 stacks, and that will basically be the same amount of damage. Then, when you try to snowball your lead on top lane, look for plays around the map with TP, but always push the wave before you look for those plays. Ideally, so your opponent cannot answer it, and yeah, if he does answer it, he loses something. Okay, and then what we did not see this game, but I still want you to take away, is if you are in a losing lane and your opponent leaves the lane to assist somebody, or while he has a slow push, try to actually freeze the wave. So he loses some minions and minion XP, minion gold, while you make yourself a really comfortable position to farm. But that means like you should only do this if you cannot contest your opponent anyway, or if you cannot contest within the play anyway. Okay, so that would be it for today. I hope you guys learned something. If you learned something, I would really, really appreciate you writing me on either Twitter or just right here, or just give me a PM, something like that. And if you guys have some feedback or criticism, or just want to have a specific player or a champion that I need to review, or that you want me to review, then just put it in the comments or just write me again. All my contact information will be in the description, as will be this video that I took as the raw material. Yeah, I really appreciate you watching till now, and yeah, good luck in your ranked games, and have a nice week, y'all. Okay, then bye bye.